Oh, yes, man. Did you watch that their face off? I mean, I don't want to ascribe things that aren't true, but it seemed like Justin and I had differing opinions about who was better at mouth guitar. Did you watch that? I mean, I don't know if this is your bag, but would you like to maybe give us a quick mouth guitar rendition? See how you land on the spectrum?
Yeah.
Great. Okay. There's this song. It's not a guitar riff. But we usually, as soon as the show's over, it starts. And there's just, can you do our impression of the way that song starts? I'm trying to set you up to do the actual Yes from the Yes Man bit. The thing that you always are doing an impression of. Never mind. Hey.
Yes.
I don't.
Garbage pieces of shit. Fuck you. I'm the guy you're garbage. I'm the guy you're fucking garbage, you pieces of garbage. Worthless pieces of fucking trash. Worthless pieces of trash. You hear that? He said a different thing. He said for you to go fuck yourself.
Oh my God, I Bryce, I'm so sorry.
Oh
I
my
feel.
See you later.
Bryce, I feel like I crossed a line, and we might not ever see the Yes Man again.
Oh,
I
no.
don't know what's
that
going
would
to
be
happen
such
after
a
every
loss
show.
to the show.
That's God damn! Wow.
And Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren also seemed not very happy with that.
Yeah, wow. That's God damn. That bit was just getting going too.
Wow. That's fucked up, man.
Oh my goodness. All right, hey,
It was on its first legs.
we're gonna take a look at NASDAQ.showbot.tv, where people have submitted show titles for the episode.
I see you losing his mind. Holy shit! Yes Man breaks kayfabe. This is amazing.
So some of our top titles: Prince of Mouth takes on all comers.
Yes.
Let's take a look at that.
I don't know. I mean, that's what's gonna happen on Saturday, though.
I like the Zamfir of mouth guitar.
Yeah, the diarrhea song. Two sideways butt cheeks is pretty good.
That's 86 in it. Yeah.
The fifth column of business, freeballing metaphorically.
That was oh my God, what was it? It was
Tilting.
Titus's.
Oh,
Title Army.
Titus's lasting army.
Oh, TLA, yeah.
We're on the tit, the money tit. Bats are dumb. Urethra flute.
Wow, a lot of mouth.
A lot of mouth stuff. Why are you dead? On the tit. Batmobile opened them up.
Open their hearts. I think is what I said, but I love that.
Justin's jargon jerk buds.
Dog eat Sharknado world.
Oh yeah,
Oh God, Dog Eat Shark World is low key one of my favorite things that's ever been said on this show.
Yeah, I like the Zamfir of mouth guitar.
Yeah. No, we sort of teased that, and then it sets up the rabble of gals.
I guess it does keep coming back. My new theory on podcast titles is that I always feel better when I don't know what the title is referencing until later in the episode. Because if I hear the thing early in the episode, then I wind up feeling like, oh,
that must have been the best thing. All right.
that was it. That was the best thing. All right, cool. But I guess we do keep going back to the mouth guitar. So the mouth guitar is a running gag.
All right, awesome. Well, you guys, I'm gonna go write an email.
Oh my God! Did you see? Someone just who is in the chat? Spider Bite just put in Night Attack the movie Jays of Future Past. It's an Imager link that it seems to be a script.
No way. Holy shit. Okay, all right. Fade in. Moroccan street fair.
Sugar dates and pistachios.
Cut to interior Justin's studio. Nights. Justin gets out from his chair and switches off his computer. Exhausted and drunk, he opts to crash face first into the couch. Face down, ass up. Fade to black. Fade in. Justin's bedroom. Day. Justin sits up from a long night's sleep and finds himself in a large, unfamiliar bed, alone in a spacious bedroom.
Fuck. How drunk was I on the show last night?
Justin looks around, sees a clock with a time displaying 8 a.m.
Fuck. That's way too early.
Justin closes his eyes and goes back to sleep. He awakes again. The time is now 11:04 a.m.
That's better.
Hold on. There we go. Justin gets out of bed and, looking around, notices a large diploma for a master's degree in journalism from Syracuse University, given to Justin Robert Young.
The fuck?
He gets out of bed, looks around the rest of the very fancy apartment, adorned with modern furniture and other expensive-looking shit. He walks over to the window, opens the blinds to reveal a New York City skyline, including a fantastic view of the Twin Towers.
Oh, fuck me!
Oh, that's the end? I was really into this. What a great opening. Can we encourage everybody to send us scripts?
Send us scripts, please. We'll eventually get them all produced by our famous Hollywood friends. Listen, this bit doesn't end until Romany Malco is the star of Night Attack the movie Jays of Future Past.
By the way, Romany Malco, I guess, is on some new ABC drama, just crushing it.
Romany, forever crushing it, permanently crushing it, is not only in a hit show on ABC right now, A Million Little Pieces. He is also in a top 5 movie that debuted at #1. He has a cameo in Night School.
Oh, that's right. He's even in all the trailers for that as well. Is it only a cameo?
Yeah, I have not seen Night School, I said in a Muppet voice. But look, I mean, Romany and Kevin Hart have been hilarious together in movies, from 40-Year-Old Virgin, Think Like a Man. Like, in fact, that was the first thing that I ever said to Romany Malco in person. Was, I think it was after we were recording for Twit at South by, and we actually just like started bullshitting with Romany the first time that we ever met him. I was like, dude, your shit with Kevin Hart in 40-Year-Old Virgin is like one of the funniest things that I've ever like seen in movies. And he's like, dude, if you like that, just wait. And sure enough, he's done like fucking 4 other awesome projects with Kevin Hart, including this. So everybody go see Night School.
Dude, that's awesome.
So, man, we already like did that whole Venom thing. That usually would have been the thing we would have done in the after show. We can talk about Star is Born though. So Star is Born's good.
I mean, it's way good. It's Bradley Cooper is a much better director than you would expect, and Lady Gaga is a much better actor than you would expect. Also not expected, Greg Grunberg just showing up for a solid 30 seconds.
Also, by the way, I watched a trailer.
Fucking great.
On TV that's just an entire Dave Chappelle scene where Dave Chappelle is just like a guy giving a really good monologue, and you're like, oh look, Dave Chappelle's a good actor.
Yes, and it genuinely fucking great. Also, Eddie Griffin shows up. Amazing actor. Fucking also, like, you spend the beginning of the movie thinking, like, Bradley Cooper's, like, doing a voice. Who's he doing? Who's he doing? Who's he doing? And then Sam Elliott shows up, and you're like, fuck, he's doing Sam Elliott. And then
by the way, you know that's not the voice he's doing.
Okay, okay, but in the movie, they're all like minutes later, it becomes clear that he's like, anyway, my brother looks a lot older than me. He looks more like my grandfather. Anyway, and then him and Sam Elliott are talking, and you're like, oh shit, that's his brother, and he's tour managing or whatever. And then later they argue, and at some point Sam Elliott says, you even stole my fucking voice. And then Bradley Cooper responds with like, because you never had nothing to say. And then it's like, so in the canon, it felt like he was doing Sam Elliott.
Apparently, the vocal that he was trying to go for, that he wound up like spending a bunch of time with, was Eddie Vedder. Eddie Vedder apparently spent time with him to try to model his singing after Eddie Vedder. And Eddie Vedder, throughout all of it, kept saying like, "Don't do this. This is stupid. This is a really bad idea. You shouldn't try to remake this movie and pretend to be me." And he was like, I'm Bradley Cooper. I do what I want. YOLO. And he made a movie that was probably going to win an Oscar.
It was really, really bizarre because I assume a lot of folks know, like in 2003, summer of 2003, like I was on a country music tour, and that whole first third of the movie, they nail every single aspect of it, from the energy of the crowd to the energy of what it's like to be on stage. The fact that you know, once you're backstage, you're just allowed to kind of hang out on the side, and you encounter people who are semi starstruck and other people who are like, I don't know what you're gonna do, let's play. And that there are improvisational and surprise aspects that happen to everything. I don't know what it's like to be on the set of Saturday Night Live or the Grammys, as it later goes into, but like that whole first third, I just kept leaning over to Bonnie, and I was like, exactly right. All of this is exactly right. I was there and I saw it, and that's exactly what this is like. And then suddenly Greg Grunberg shows up, and I was like, that's
what happens. You meet Greg Grunberg.
This is really surreal for me. Yeah, no, it's great. It is great beyond words. It is, the pacing of it moves with a respect for the intelligence of the audience that I would never have expected. Nah, maybe not never. That was better than I expected. They do that thing of like, the moment you get to the like, okay, I get, and then you don't even get to finish the word, okay, I get, and then now they're on to the next thing, and you figure out like, oh, we're a couple of months down the road, and a couple of months down the road, and a couple of months down the road. It's extraordinary. It's fantastic. It's amazing. I really can't wait for you to watch it, so I could talk to you about it.
No, I am pumped to see it. Because I think it's gonna be like that, and like First Man, like the First Man reviews are like off the charts, and some of those trailers are starting to hit TV, and it looks like wild. So I don't know. It feels like it's gonna be like a good Oscar season, because like normally, like you always know that the Oscar movies, like it's good that Oscar movies are hits, or at least like relative hits, like that are popular, that a lot of people are going to see, and not like, you know, the fucking silent film that won Best Picture 4 years ago or 5 years ago, where it's like, ain't nobody saw the goddamn silent movie.
Right.
You know, but it was like a favorite with people who watch screeners who vote for the Oscars.
Trey Warren says he liked it a little bit less than me, but still, totally recommended it. I don't blame you, because I can't divorce the elements that felt very personal to me. Not the least of which is the fact that the whole first third of the movie felt like a living, nostalgia flashbang from 15 years ago. Like that was That was really wild to see that moment, that period of my life brought to life in front of me.
Because Bradley Cooper plays a like broke down country artist.
Yeah, or an experience.
That was a formative part of your career, being on a country tour.
Well, yes, correct. And I didn't even know that he's represented as broke down in the first third. We certainly see him break down over the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
But certainly a matured intellectual property. You know, somebody who could draw a crowd and wants to try things in that space. Yeah, no, it was surreal and amazing and challenging and hard and wonderful. It was great. It was great.
Bryce, you seen it yet?
I haven't seen it yet. I gave up the movie pass, so I don't go out to the movies as much.
The Lady Gaga, she can act.
She's been in a bunch of TV shows.
Guess who else can fucking act? Hey, it's me, the asshole Pope. Fucking.
No, well, I mean, like, he had his own Showtime show. Like he's been in other stuff, Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah.
Yes, but he recently gave it in an interview that he's like, man, it's not going to get better than whatever this was. I'm out. You know, like, I'm just done. I would love it if everybody remembered me for this. Yeah, no, I agree. That does seem like the kind of play you make if you're like, I mean, unless you want some more.
He's Andrew Dice Clay. He's gonna cash that check. Andrew Dice Clay ain't never been about nothing else but cashing that check. So,
yeah.
And God bless him for it. Like the guy's been gigantic, but yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. It does not. The one thing that would surprise me is that Lady Gaga hasn't made the like, no, I'm an actress now kind of move before now. Although I guess this is kind of the perfect time because like she like still proved that she can draw as an artist, but it's like as a musical artist, but yet it's like to go to where she was would mean like being like Madonna. But like just saying like, no, I'm now just going to do this reinvention every 4 years where I'm going to hope and pray that there's a big hit single, but the money isn't there like there used to be. Like when Madonna did that techno album, like there was still a lot of money in being a gigantic recording artist, where now it's like there's not. Like what are you going to do? Chase to have the biggest hit on SoundCloud?
Well, Lady Gaga's about to do like a year-long Vegas residency. So that's probably...
Oh, sure. I mean, yeah, and even then, Vegas, like fucking Bruce Springsteen's about to play Vegas with his Broadway show. So it's like, you know, Vegas is... She can do that and still go shoot movies. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's probably what she's going to do, is just make a gigantic amount of money doing a like iconic Vegas show while shooting movies whenever she needs to shoot movies.
This is, man, I can't wait for you, both of you guys, to see that because from the trailers, this is not a spoiler, you know, she is a discovered talent, and she manages to very believably portray somebody swept up out of her depth into a world that seems like a fantasy to her, and you feel that shocked excitement and energy and joy that comes with it. But the part I did not expect is they get far enough into the story where they almost make her a parody of a shitty version of Lady Gaga at some point under the direction of a manager, and there she is performing a song that is like...
Is there a part of this that isn't a spoiler?
Yeah, I definitely did not know that.
Well, my point is
that the first part was definitely not a spoiler. That's all the stuff you see in the trailer.
Okay, I get it. And never talk about anything until you...
Well, I mean, you want us to see this...
All you do is like you could say, hey, do you want to hear a spoiler? And we can say, sure.
Okay, my point is that she shows extraordinary range and goes into what I would imagine might be uncomfortable territory for other people, but I think she navigates it real well. And but my mistake. I thought we were doing a talk show.
What?
It's
you're trying. Okay. We don't need. I'm not letting any of this. Cargo posted some boobies on Twitter. I don't know. Did you guys see this? You heard about this?
Doctor Strange, Magic Custom Graphics, pasties, booby stickers, and nipple covers. Is that? No, that's not from that site that we did that game about that one time.
No, this is eBay. And if you've it's ebay.com.
Yeah. So they're just
They're
I mean,
pasties.
you got to figure, that's like a pasties like engine where you can just like upload whatever you want in that format, and it'll like the way that they do with like t-shirts, where whatever you want just appears on that person's t-shirt, but it's on that lady's titties.
Oh, I'm sure, because those are definitely, that's not a photo of them on her. That's definitely a digital.
All I want, I mean, like, what's the funniest thing you could put on that lady's titties? I guess is the
Buttholes.
buttholes on the titties.
Butthole pasties.
Butthole pasties.
Butthole
Yeah.
pasties.
Dude, butthole pasties might be $1 million idea. Whose butthole? Just a stock footage butthole?
It's like, well, it's
Or
like the
you
Mona
take
Lisa.
a
We'll
picture of
never
your
know.
own butthole, and then once it's like
Shit.
$1 million like property,
No,
you're
no,
at
no.
an office party 20 years down the road, and you're like, it was my butthole.
Chumley 409 has it. Cat buttholes. They gotta be the least sexiest of all the buttholes. Cat buttholes.
Wait, are we doing a ranking?
Well, I didn't think that was a controversial statement, but I guess.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of animal buttholes, but I presume. Listen, there's an entire kingdom out there.
I mean, I assume. Okay, dogs
Are they
in
are we-
general.
We're talking about best. Are we?
No.
The original
He's like
concept
the
here was
least
best.
sexy
The
butthole.
least sexy buttholes.
I mean, come on. Like, how can you possibly make that statement with confidence when there's an entire world out there with buttholes that might be both beautiful and awful?
Well, okay. I'm going to assume, and here's where I'm coming from on this, is that of all the buttholes, cat buttholes are shown off the most. Because those motherfuckers never put down their tails, right?
It's a fair point. You probably see a cat's asshole more than you
Any
would
other animal
assholes.
I can even imagine. Like, name one animal you see its butthole more than a cat.
Yeah, I would agree with you. There's no. I mean, unless there's an asshole that we don't perceive as an asshole, like unless there's like a fish asshole or something like that. Or
Oh,
that,
yeah.
yeah.
So by virtue of pure exposure, I'm going to assume that is the least interesting of all buttholes. But then again, I said Labradors were the boringest dogs, and I got in trouble for that. So I guess come at me, defenders of how interesting cat buttholes
You
are.
said the least sexy butthole, which I think would have a subtle difference from least interesting, because what you're saying is that you see it the most. And
like the way a table is.
Like familiarity breeds, whatever it breeds.
Yeah, like a table is not very sexy because they're never covered up, and I see them everywhere I go. Like I would never go like, oh my god.
What I took from it initially was like if you put a bunch of buttholes in front of you and you were forced at gunpoint to rank them all from most to least sexy, who knows where the cats would show up?
Sorry, I may have also
tell a cat's asshole from other assholes, or if other assholes are even uglier than a cat's asshole.
I keep in mind also, sexy is a weird word in that it conveys both sexual attraction, which of course is not what I was interested. But then there's also sexy as being interesting. Like it's the least sexy idea, the least interesting idea.
Sure.
So
I'm just explaining where mine went. My mind went initially, but we can go wherever we want to go.
Man, Dan33 points out like baboon for sure. They also, their buttholes are out, but then also, like, whereas a cat's butthole you can look at, and I would like to think it's a shared experience among most of us that it's like, well, that's just cat's butt. A baboon, like, how close to a human being does an animal get shaped before it confuses you about the sexiness of its butthole? I don't have an answer for this. I'm just asking the questions here.
I mean, we all are. We're all asking these questions. Science, religion, art have been asking these questions for as long as time has existed.
So James Gunn's going to write Suicide Squad. How do we feel about that?
And direct it. A real switching sides moment, because you would figure if DC was going to hire him for anything, an ensemble superhero franchise, like I don't know, it almost feels like perfect and too on the nose at the same time. Does that make sense? That it's like on one hand, it's like it makes sense that you can see it from the studio's perspective, that DC's like, hey, write whatever check we need to write to get the Guardians guy to do a Suicide Squad movie. But then on the other hand, it's like, well, is there any way that we're going to watch that movie and not be like, well, I don't know, would have been better if it were Drax and Star-Lord?
I mean, didn't we already have that when Joss Whedon was brought in to punch up the script for Justice League and all that?
And I talked to you about Justice League, so I saw the first hour, and there's a scene, the first scene in Justice League. I'm going to spoil the first scene in Justice League. If you ain't seen it, then I'm sorry for you. So Batman, I already spoiled another scene later in the movie about Justice League. So this is one earlier. And also Brian didn't yell at me about saying spoilers, which means that Brian's a better person than I am. I just want to acknowledge that because I later in the show called out Brian for talking about spoilers. So we're moving on. So the first scene of Justice League, there's this bad guy, and he's like robbing some shit. And Batman swoops in and does some Batman shit. And he's like, hey, I'm Batman. Stop fucking robbing some shit. And he gets him, right? And then he like does some more like crazy Batman shit. Oh yeah, and then the guy starts shooting at him. He's like, fuck you, Batman. I'm a fucking robber. I rob shit. It's what I do. Bah, 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 bah. Batman's like Batman dodging, and he's like going around a water tower, and eventually the guy's like, oh, I gotta run away from Batman. Whop. Fucking Batman catches him and leans him like over a like edge, and it kind of feels like the Christopher Nolan Batman movies where he was like, swear to me, but instead he's just kind of like leaning him over like Thriller or like Moonwalker style.
But before you tell me what happens next, in my mind, I just want to go on a tangent flight of fancy in which the robber says, is this an implied threat of murder? It's not clear to me. I thought you had a moral code. Are you threatening to murder me for information? This is...
He does say, he says to Batman, what do you want from me? And Batman goes, your fear. Right?
Okay.
And just then, like alien bug, like comes out of the alley and comes after. Oh no! And Batman goes, they can smell it, and so the alien bug comes flying out of the alley at the guy, and Batman's like pulls the guy back. Fuck you, Robert. I don't really give a shit about you. I'm here for this alien bug that came out of the sidewalk. So he starts fighting the alien bug, and the alien bug's doing alien bug shit. And the next thing you know, Batman catches him, and then the alien bug dies. And Batman's like, oh shit, there was some crazy things in how the alien bug exploded. So right there, you're like, okay, this is weird, but I guess they're setting up this larger science fiction scenario. This scene is establishing that Batman is getting out of his comfort zone. So then he's leaving. Batman is. And the robber, who was literally shooting at him like 5 minutes ago, is like, hey. Batman's like, what? And he's like, what was with that alien? And he's like, yeah, I don't know. He's an alien. And then the guy's like, it's because Superman died, right? Because also Superman died in Batman vs Superman, yada yada. And he's like, Batman's like, ugh. And at that moment, you're like, oh, this is gonna be the time, because Batman is still Batman. Like, yes, he's trying to root out these alien bugs, but he's still Batman. He still catches petty criminals. That's like his thing, is making sure that Gotham is safe. And so you're just sure that he's gonna like hit like some button on his gauntlet, and then like there's gonna be a big net that'll like catch the like bad guy.
It's like a net made out of handcuffs, and that drops into a postal bag that a drone delivers and says, "Please deliver to City Hall," with prepaid postage from stamps.com.
Yeah, delivery, 1 bag of shit
to
Commissioner Gordon, right? And he's gonna be like, "Yeah, haven't forgot about you." Boop. He doesn't. He just leaves. He's just like, Batman's just like, yeah, you were shooting at me. You were robbing something like 5 seconds ago.
Attempted murder? Okay, on my watch, I guess.
It's like, I'm really just sorry, man. I'm in my head about this alien shit. Whatever. I guess keep raping. I'm Batman. Peace.
Yeah, it's not like you can kill my parents again. Did I mention my parents died?
I guess like literally my origin story is a shitbag who did something to a random person without any motive. I'm leaving you on the streets. I guess it's, it's a good thing I haven't been reminded of this origin story in literally every fucking movie about me.
Oh my God.
That's the opening scene of Justice League. And the rest of the movie is a loud, ridiculous, incoherent mess. And I'm so looking forward to seeing the rest of it. But I kind of feel like they needed to just market the Snyder DC universe as like, this is ridiculous schlock, and fuck you nerds who care about these characters. The people want to see ridiculous schlock, and we're going to give it to them. Like, and they should have had, instead of having Ben Affleck saying like, I really read a lot of Dark Knight Returns when I was thinking about this thing. Just have Zack Snyder come out and say, fuck you. I'm doing what I want with these characters. Suck my dick. I dare you to not come see these movies.
So I guess this flight of fancy that I'm having right now is fueled by the fact that I just finished listening to the Business Wars podcast about Marvel versus DC. But like, DC has worked really hard over the last 15 to 20 years to earn a legitimate underdog position. And it seems like, having done so, they should steal from Stan Lee's playbook and directly call out Marvel movies in their shit. You're like, oh, I'm sorry, we don't, like a bad guy says like, oh, I get it, you got all the money in the fucking world, so of course you got blank or whatever. Like, I'm sorry, you're like, hey man, give me your money. Give me your money. That's your line. You're like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have a team of writers who are able to plus up my scripts like you. Like fucking, like just all these fucking direct digs at Disney, Marvel, and the machine.
I mean, number one, their biggest hit was Wonder Woman, which literally beat for beat ripped off their third act from Captain America. So like, I just think their number one way to financial success is just redo Marvel movies. Just totally rip off. Like now, Captain America, just do a new Superman where it's literally just Captain America.
So if anything, you're doubling down on my thesis, because one of the stories in Business Wars is they talk about the how the X-Men was straight up 3 months published after a DC original title, in which a bunch of misfit superheroes are led by a dude in a wheelchair, and they fight the League of Evil. And then 3 months later, Marvel comes out with the X-Men, the craziest band of misfit superheroes who are led by a dude in a wheelchair. And guess who they fight? The League of Evil Mutants. Like fucking flip that script, man. They could totally do that.
Off. Who gives a fuck, right? Like just fucking totally wholesale rip them off. I'm all for it. I mean, and now listen, if they're gonna hire James Gunn, then they're literally just gonna hire everybody from Phase 2 of Marvel, right? They already got Joss Whedon, so fucking take James Gunn. Hire literally everybody you can from Marvel.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say, like, for the first time, Marvel is so well established. I would say that DC would appear to be the sympathetic character were they to take pot shots at Marvel. And that's a phrase I've never been able to speak with conviction in my life until this past 3 or 4 years, I guess.
Yeah, man. No, I'm with you. I mean, and they should be, because they have squandered literally. Well, and also the fact that like they're building up, I guess, Justice League 2. They have like the most ridiculous knockoff fucking villain in Justice League 1, which is like Steppenwolf, who isn't going to take you on a midnight carpet ride. But he's just a bad guy who wears bad headgear and does bad things and needs to get the mystery boxes so he can make the mystery thing, right?
Yeah.
But they're building up to Darkseid, who, like, Thanos is a literal ripoff of. Like, he is like, Thanos is a carbon copy ripoff. Darkseid was first, Thanos was second, and now Thanos is going to be in 2 of the highest grossing movies of all time, and Darkseid's going to be holding his dark dick.
Dark dong. Yeah, man. And meanwhile, like, how is it that DC has such a dominant position in the I don't know if it's all just the CW stuff, but it's like on television, DC continues to be crushing it in terms of passionate audiences, but I know they're a fraction of the size of the blockbusters that Marvel is doing.
Well, because they're doing credible shit for that audience, that CW audience. They're just doing like credible, fun, competent superhero stories in a format, like based on a format that was used to writing, you know, one different superhero story every month. So it's like, there's plenty of stories of how the Green Arrow gets, you know, tries to stop the elephant boy who is stealing things with his trunk. Like it both mediums are fun, don't take yourself too seriously, good guy wins in the end narratives. So it's like the one thing that Marvel has gotten wrong in their Netflix stuff is that they try too hard to be like, no, these are serious things. It's like, no, we really just want to hear, we want to watch Luke Cage uppercut somebody through the ceiling and then call him a jive turkey and say, you know, fucking good Christmas or whatever.
Yeah, sweet Christmas. Yeah,
I get a feel.
I like Good Christmas though, as a knockoff Kmart. Like if you're gonna buy a Chinese knockoff costume, it'll be like Good Christmas superhero. Man, somebody in the chat was saying that that the Marvel stuff on Netflix was good, but I gotta admit, I mean. Season 1 of Daredevil, certainly. Season 1 of Luke Cage, for the most part. I would say most of Season 1 of Jessica Jones.
I never got into Daredevil, and everything else has been fine to mediocre of the stuff that I watched.
Yeah.
So I it's one of those things where I'm definitely behind on it. Like, I started to watch Jessica Jones season 2, but even that was like, oh, this is just going to be nothing special, really. But yeah, that's me. I'm still
Jessica
less
Jones
interested
season 2
in
worth the binge
superhero
time.
stuff.
Yeah, could be.
I got that Top Chef. I got 14 seasons of Top Chef.
I will say season 2 of Daredevil was maybe my favorite of all the Marvel Netflix stuff.
Man.
Because like Elektra was my favorite version of Elektra that I've ever seen in comics or movies or television. I thought that stuff was really good. I like the stick like stuff in season 2. The first half of Luke Cage was amazing.
Fucking amazing. Absolutely amazing.
And then they decide to, spoiler alert, they decide to kill off their fucking like the golden goose of that season. They have the most awesome villain in Mahershala Ali, and then he dies, and they replace him with this like mustache twirling like Harry Belafonte impression. But I haven't seen Luke Cage season 2. I haven't seen Jessica Jones season 2. Like really everything past the Defenders, really Iron Fist ruined it. Like I just realized like how much of a high wire act the Marvel Cinematic Universe was going on, where it was like, all right, you can do an Iron Man. You got Robert Downey Jr., but fucking make Thor work. Oh shit. Thor's really good. Oh shit. Captain America's really good. Oh shit. I mean, let's forget the Hulk that came in between there. Oh shit! All these sequels are pretty good.
I mean, even the Hulk was the best version of the Hulk that we had seen up until that point, debatably.
Sure.
Yeah.
But then it's like you realize like how much if one of those had really sucked an ass, like Iron Fist sucked an ass, it's like, okay. Maybe I'm just I'm 1/5% less interested in the team up movie if one of those parts sucks a major ass.
Yeah. Have you started season 3 of The Good Place?
Yeah, I'm cut up.
I did not expect to be as invested with the story. You know, because as I and the characters as I am right now, like it's there is one character, like every single character can constantly flip back to 0, and I'll be fine with it. But I feel like I'm watching one former bartender at Cheers story, and that's all I care about, and it's great.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is probably, of the 3 seasons, this is easily the biggest high wire act, because you have eliminated the literal premise of the show.
Everything's made of rubber, and yet somehow it still works, and I can't believe it, you know?
And so now the question is, do you get them back there, or do you keep them,
or do you take everybody else down there?
which it seems like that's kind of the idea.
It's a very interesting idea.
Yeah, but it's like you have to reform your premise,
right?
And I have faith in the show because the show is really smart, and no matter what, it's always fun, and those actors are really great. But the one thing that I do think has kind of suffered is some of the supporting. So what used to be kind of the core group, like now, because the mythological characters, the ones that need to set up the world, are like at the forefront because we don't know what the world is. So it's like we have to now make these other characters much bigger so we can reform the rules. You kind of lose a little bit of some of the dynamic of the characters we spend a lot of time with, but it's great.
Yeah, I that's one of those. I mean, we're also seeing that in the MCU, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where it's like, the world gets bigger, so we spend less time with Captain America, we spend less time with Iron Man, we spend less time with, you know, all of these individual things that were a core component of what we loved in the beginning of it. But like, what am I gonna wish for the world to not get bigger? You know, it's like I'm enjoying seeing everything go.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that things are a little different in a movie than they are a TV show.
What I guess what I'm saying is like every moment Maya Rudolph is on screen is a moment that I'm not seeing, Chidi or whatever. Do I want less Maya Rudolph so that I can have more Chidi? It's like, no, I really like what all this is adding to this bigger and more increasingly insane world.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the question there is that a sign that we haven't evolved Chidi enough? Is that a sign that Chidi doesn't have? And this is a problem with their not a problem, but a challenge with their premise, where you are eliminating memories, right? And so now, aside from only a few characters, not everybody can grow, right? Except for this one predetermined set of time. That it's like, okay, well then how do these characters get more interesting? If and this is part of the fun part of that show is that they have literally just kind of eliminated, they've made a workplace comedy where literally everything else is changeable. It's the only thing that is consistent is that they're all going to be in a place and they're all going to interact in the way that a workplace comedy would have everybody in a place interacting.
Yeah.
And everything else is no, literally anything else can happen at every moment, and every other character can be whatever the fuck they want.
Well, and like we talked about in one of the the Weird Things picks or whatever, where it's don't call it a twist, call it a change of venue. We have seen a change of venue every season, and as far as I'm concerned, there could be a change of venue every season going forward with a new set of rules and then a reset of rules and all that stuff. I'll be in for all of that, because at the end of the day, there are two real stars. There's the one character who appears to have an arc, two characters that appear to have an arc, and everyone else can be cogs in the machine. And then the other star of the show is the moral conundrums as the featured bits, to explore.
Yeah. I mean, I think that everybody, all of the four main characters have an arc, in that the story of the series is whether or not they get there.
Sure.
Right.
But we've also seen them press the reset button multiple times, and
sure. I think that is in a show that literally makes a point about makes a joke about how much they hit the reset button.
Right.
The story is either at the end of the series, we are going to find out whether or not they get there or not.
Sure.
Right. That is, it begins in them. It begins with them dying for the first time, and it will end with that decision.
Do you remember the moment in this most recent episode where they were, I think it was Maya Rudolph was explaining how all this,
all the things that are weird now?
Yes. It reminded me of that moment when in Sliders 20 years ago, they come back to the actual Earth, but they don't believe it because OJ is a double murderer, and they list all the other weird shit that have happened. They're like, well, this clearly isn't the real world, and off they go.
No, it's the line of the Jaguars are good and Blake Bortles is also, is Blake Bortles good? It's a thing experts are still debating it. for sports fans is hilarious, because that's literally a constant thing, is whether or not fucking Blake Bortles is good or not.
That's amazing.
Hey man, you ready to wrap this bad bitch up?
Yeah, I think so, dude. Good show, good times, good games. Good mouth guitar. Can't wait to see you take all comers.
Hey, the Prince of Mouth. This Saturday in Las Vegas. Get your tickets. Scoopfest.com/night.
I want to hear the Prince of Mouth's version of the Prince of Parties.
I want to hear the Prince of Mouth's version of the Prince of Thieves.
Yeah.
A theme
I don't know. I don't know it.
I think why? I'm gonna have to learn it for Saturday.
Like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Sure.
Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Everything I do it for you.
Oh, is that Birdhouse in Your Soul?
No, that was the literal lyrics to the main thing. Of,
Oh, sorry,
yeah.
I couldn't hear your mouth guitar. It sounded like Birdhouse in Your Soul.
Yeah, I'm not the Prince of Mouths.
Prince of Mouths. All right, see y'all later.
XOXO.